All right, so a couple of things to talk about. One is I added more weight up front on this thing. I even put weight in the spinner. And this, by the way, is just glued on temporarily so that I can see if it stands up on its own, and it does. So that means it's not a tail sitter anymore, which is awesome. Now, the next thing I'm going to do with this thing is I'm going to start fixing the windows. And you can see in this little piece, I put plastic under here, but you can see that the clear part was short shot when I got the kit. So it has this curve on it here. The front part fits just fine into the canopy area. This part, of course, is wrong. So what I did was I sawed it off right where there is like a panel line, like a frame. So I pulled that off like this. And so that's the piece I just got rid of. So now if I take this thing and I put it right here, that part fits just fine. But now what I need to do is fill in, of course, this area right here. I'll put that door back on, it fell off. Got to put this in and fill this in. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to try anyway, I'm going to use some of this stuff. This is a 2-part epoxy. Here are the 2 parts, and they're old. I'm going to put them together and hope that they start to do what they're supposed to do and harden. I'm going to roll this out, and I'm going to make a piece and fit it into that area, and hoping that that will end up being a piece that I can sand and carefully maneuver with it, and then I can then vac form a new canopy. At least that's the plan. So I'm going to kind of put this together, and I'm going to get the piece of my window ready. What I'm going to do is glue a little tiny piece, like a shelf of plastic, under here, so I can have a place to have this stuff sort of adhere to. And I'm going to roll this out flat and cut a flat piece out and stick it right in there and kind of shape it. So I'm going to get this set up. I'm going to tack glue this into the fuselage here, into the top. I'm going to reattach my door, and we'll come right back. All right, so I've got everything fixed. So now I'm just going to kind of roll this thing out, this piece of putty, to a certain thickness. And then I am just going to basically cut a piece out that's the right thickness and put it in. I'll try that. Put it in my canopy piece. So let's take this and see how close I am. You can see I put this piece in, and then I put a little shelf in there. Okay, I can take more off. So I'm just cutting, make it a little bit thinner. Okay, a little thinner still. Just a tiny bit thinner. So I'm just cutting this off camera with an X-Acto blade. Never done this before, so I'm hoping this is going to work. I really hope so. So put this in like this. Now it's a little bit small. Smooth move, X-Lax. It's okay. I can cut a new piece. See how resourceful I am? So, I'm hoping this is going to work. I am not sure. So that's just going to be the beginning. My hope is that I can sort of lay this in and I can, once I kind of get it roughed in, I can play around with getting it just the way I want it. Like right now, I think I need to make one more little strip and make it a little bit thicker. I think. Because you're right in the center of the big dimple there. So let me cut a little piece off here. To make it a tad thicker. Right in there. And my hope is that I'll be able to sort of let this dry for a second and then come back and sand it down and make it even. And make it go where I want it to go exactly. Let's see, how does this side look? Okay. So I'm hoping what I'll be able to do is just sort of let it dry for a few minutes and then peel it off, and it will be a start. And then I can let it dry, and then I can be doing a lot of sanding and cutting and making it just so. And I hope it will fit in and make it, play with it till it fits in just right. Then, once that's all done, I'll go back and basically get the fillet and stuff like that, make sure it looks good. Once I do all that, I mean, it is sculptable, at least at this point. Once I do all that, I should be able to then just, it'll be a gigantic piece that I can then just use as a form to vac form the whole thing. So what we're going to do is let that dry, and we're going to try to pull it off, and we'll see if anything worked or if it was a gigantic, unmitigated fail. Okay, it's not beautiful at all, but it gives me a basic shape, and I'm going to let it harden, and then I'm going to come back and sand it and trim it and make it look nice. Because once this is hardened, I can do lots of things to make it shape right. This door basically will be nice and straight, that edge. This will be smoothed over, this will be smoothed over, and then I can adjust this part to make it fit just right. And then once this is all smoothed out, I can use this as a new canopy. And I can vac form a new one, and it will look just great. So that's step one. We'll let this dry. I'm not sure how long it takes to dry. I would say multiple hours to overnight, I would think. I'm not sure. But we'll definitely let it go for a while before we try to do anything with it, because it's still very soft. And then hopefully it's stuck in enough here that it actually stays. I might put a little bit more in there just to sort of lock it in place. But this is first steps, and we'll see how it goes. So here it is after a lot of sanding and dinking around. I didn't show sanding, but I just used multiple grits of sandpaper and tried to put it as best as possible. Now this is hard to show you, but it actually fits pretty well, and it's hard to just hold with one hand, but it actually fits pretty flush. And it's a good place to start, at least testing for the vac forming. So what I'll do is put this little guy in the vac form machine. That's what we'll show next. And it's a good place to start. Like I said, if it doesn't work, I can go back and trim some more. But I tried to sand it so this actually slightly below the frame, so that the plastic, which also, it takes space. Hopefully I have it so that it'll come out just about right. So it's going to be ever so slightly bigger, but hopefully it will work and we can trim. And boy, it looks better than a short shot piece of plastic.